Three, two, one. Not it. Going live. Alone. My tacos. Oh. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the machine. I'm your host, Big D. And welcome to Taco Tuesday, talking all things nerd, Warhammer, and everything in between. Howdy, howdy, y'all. Eating my tacos, because I am part of the Dornish Rebellion. Howdy, y'all, howdy, y'all, howdy, y'all. So, Lady D will be here shortly. She works until about a minute from now, and she works about 5-10 minutes away from the house. So she'll come home, run back, get her food, come in, and hang out with us. So until then, you got me alone. And since it is Taco Tuesday, I will enjoy my lovely homemade tacos. What is up? Oh my goodness. What is up, you lovely, wonderful, beautiful, amazing people? We got a lot going on this week. A lot of stuff going on. So let's wash a little down. And let's get chatting. All right. So when she gets here, we'll have her talk about what's on her side. But as always, we will start off with what's on the bench. Well, what's on the bench is actually the main topic. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Phoenix, I'm so sorry. I know how important that is to you. That is sad. I'm sorry. Bristol got canceled. Whole season. Wow, that's a pretty big economic impact too. A lot of people get affected by that. I know a lot of seamstresses that make a lot of their summer money whipping together costumes for people for Ren Fair. So that sucks. For those of you that may not know, the Bristol Ren Fair here in southeastern Wisconsin is actually one of the biggest and one of the oldest in the country. I mean, when I was a little kid, and I mean little kid, like, single digits, it was known as King Richard's Fair back then. It's been around for a very long time. Paylor, how you doing, buddy? All right, let's just get over everybody's here. Commodore, Hellworks, Phoenix, and Dave, my brother Al, Hellchild. I said you already. And the Pale Orc. Oh, yeah, I know. I absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. Absolutely. You have to. Oh, there's the wife. I mean, you absolutely have to take care of people. I am not faulting anyone for them canceling it. I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, think of how bummed I was when I heard that they canceled Summerfest, one of my big, because I'm a huge music fan, and they canceled Summerfest.
For me, with Pride Fest.
Pride Fest has been canceled. Basically, the entire Milwaukee, one of the biggest things about living here in Milwaukee is it's called the City of Festivals for a reason. There is dinner, there's tacos. Milwaukee is a city of festivals. We literally have, starting the weekend before Memorial Weekend and into October, like the last one is like the last week of September, the first weekend of October, almost every weekend there is some sort of festival here in town. There's Pride Fest, there's Festa Italiana, there's Irish Fest, there's Fiesta Mexicana, I think that's what it's called. There's there's so many. Oktoberfest, the German one, the big German one at the end of the season. It's really, really, really big. It's a big thing here. You have this massive festival grounds. In the middle of it, there's a 2-week festival called Summerfest, and it is the world's largest music festival. It is 2 weeks with Polish Fest, another big one. But it's literally 2 weeks of and I think there's 12 stages, and bands start playing on each of the individual stages by noon. Like the first show is either noon or 12:30, and they play well past midnight. So I mean, this is a huge thing. I mean, it's really disappointing because the Red Hot Chili Peppers were scheduled for being here. Ozzy Osbourne was scheduled for here. 2 big shows that I really wanted to go to. I haven't seen Ozzy in way too long, and the last time I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers was their original lineup, because I saw them on the Mother's Milk tour. Oh, so many. Rammstein had to cancel they had a big show they were playing in Chicago. They had to cancel that. Well, Lady Dragon and I were actually looking to see if we could score tickets for that, and they had to cancel that show. I mean, it's huge. This is just huge. I apologize. It's about 90 degrees, and although my house is nice and cool, they have the lights down, the air conditioner's on, but it's not like cranked. It's just a nice low temperature. Got the lights down all day, and we've got fans blowing just keep air going through the house. So it's comfortable in the house right now, but it's tough. I mean, it's just tough that we're going to be losing. I mean, the Summerfest, the whole summer festival season is a massive, massive economic boom for this city, and that's all gone. It's money you can't get back. So it's tough. It's real tough. It's real tough. And I feel for other cities. I mean, all these big gaming conventions are being canceled one right after the other. All these gaming conventions canceled. All these concerts canceled. And this is, unfortunately, this is, and I'm not decrying it. I mean, it's absolutely the right thing to do. It's just weird how this has become the new normal. And yeah. Gen Con's going to be online, so yeah. There's a huge big air show that happens here in Milwaukee. Like, it's a massive, massive air and water show. That got canceled. And that's the Thunderbirds have been there 3 years in a row. From what I heard this year, originally scheduled, they were going to have the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels, and they were going to have two groups of Blue Angels, because there were going to be two sets of jets that the Blue Angels were bringing to this. I mean, they were really putting all out for, because this was supposed to be an anniversary year for the Milwaukee Air. It's the Milwaukee Air and Water Show, and that's been canceled. So it's just, so it's tough. It's tough. Real tough. So it's a matter of finding the positive. Finding the positive. You're gonna die. So let's talk about let's move on to happier thoughts, because that's what we're here about. We're here to keep things positive, happy and positive. So let's be happy and positive. What's on the bench? I have a new tutorial I'm working on for you guys. I am making desert bases. Death is coming. I'm working on a new desert basing tutorial. Surprise, there is some sand involved, but it's not what you think. I want to do some. I started trying to do it with. Yes, I did, Paylor. You gave me a lot of ideas on that, because I need to make a couple mech guns myself. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm very positive 2020 sucks so far. Man, can we get a redo? Can we get a do-over? So I'm working on some desert bases, because part of what's on the bench is what we're going to be talking about a lot tonight. And the table is actually a big part of that too. As part of 9th edition, there was a big article about it today out on their website, where they're talking about Crusade and how it's going to work, and how you start off with a requisite number of points, and you can do things as things go on. You'll be able to spend points to do certain things. As people get wounded, you get to roll some dice and have specific effects to your army, so that every army will be a little unique and a little different in a narrative sense. So obviously, this isn't stuff you're going to see in match play. You can't put it in match play, so you won't see it in tournament play. But I don't freaking care. The wife and I have been talking, Lady D and I have been talking about, and we're actually really excited for Crusade, like super, super excited, because it's actually putting kind of a role play aspect. There's kind of a role play aspect that they're putting into this new edition with the Crusade. So I've got my wolves, and I've got a lot of wolves built, and everybody knows, and I've still got some wolves in the back shelf that got to get finished, and I want to get them done. I've got my Death Guard, which I got a package coming from Meeks. I got a big package I'm putting together to send out to Meeks. He's sending me a bunch of Death Guard stuff that he had left over. So I will have even more Death Guard, which I'm really happy for, because I don't think you can have too much Death Guard. Yeah, just their basic stuff is just awesome, and I've got almost everything I want for them. Is the upper tier stuff. I got a couple things I want to get for them, but really, the things I want for them are very minor. I really like some Dreadnought type stuff, but other than that, I think I'm pretty well set with my Death Guard. Now it's time to start building new, and that's what this is about. One of the things we're going to do Oh, stop it. We'll talk about that. I wanted to wait for you, but you want to be like that? We're going to talk about it. So here's the thing. When 9th edition comes out, Lady Dragon and I are getting a single starter box. Now, unless the Plague Child loses their damn mind, the Necron half will go to the Plague Child. But that leaves the Marine half. Now, I have started building new edition, new army. I've started building my Iron Hands. I wanted a Codex compliant, so I am building my newest army, the Iron Dragons. They are a Iron Hands. They are an Iron Hands successor chapter. And I'm starting off by building their third company. So I'm getting them started with what pieces I have. I'm going through my bits boxes and printing some extra pieces here and there. As you can tell, because the assault intercessors have not even been released yet. And yet here I am with a squad of 10 of them primed and ready to start painting. And that's why I'm doing the desert bases. Because my guys, the Iron Dragons, oh, you're stuck at Menards. For those of you who don't know, Menards is a Wisconsin-centric hardware store. So Kendra had to get things at Menards, so she's taking the Lady Dragon because they work together, and taking Lady Dragon hostage and taking her to Menards with her. So that's funny. So anyhow, I'm building my Iron Dragons. My dear, lovely wife wants to build the 7th company or the 8th company. 8th company, right? Yeah, 8th company of the Salamanders. If you're familiar with the Salamanders book, they only got the first seven companies because they've taken losses, and it's really hard to. They live in a very hard and harsh world. They've taken losses, and they're not really getting them refreshed very quickly. So she's got this huge lore. So she's got this idea for doing the 8th company, and potentially the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th company, depending on how crazy she wants to go with this. So she's working. She wants to build her Salamanders. So that's an entire starter box worth of Marines. Now, because we want to kick off 9th edition with a good hurrah, what we're going to do is we're going to play 1,000 points of her Drukari, Yunari / Drukari, 8th company, yeah. She's going to play her Drukari, her Yunari Drukari, 1,000 points of that against, I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided who I want to play. But she'll be playing against one of my armies. We're going to set up the table, and we're going to do a battle report. And well, they are Codex compliant, but they're not Codex compliant. They don't have more than 7 companies because they don't have enough dudes. They just don't have the manpower. So she's got some really cool lore behind that. So we're going to put together a battle report, and we are going to play a game. And we're going to do it straight by the book. Probably like a last hurrah for 8th edition. But the prize for winning that game is going to be the Marine half of the box. So it'll be fun. And yes, actually, Commodore is going to come out and referee for us. Hopefully, we're going to get Commodore and Phoenix down, so Phoenix can help me with the camera work, and Commodore will make sure to be the referee to make sure everything's nice and fair, and I don't cheat on my wife to win those sweet, sweet Marines. So we're just gonna make fun out of it, and that's the big thing. One of the big reasons we want to do this is once 9th edition drops and the Crusade rules are codified and we have the rules for them, we actually want to do an ongoing series of our Crusade campaign for our two forces. So, and we'll get other people involved. I mean, we're hoping that we'll get Commodore down with either his armies, because he's got both a Knights army and a Imperial Fist army, so we'll want to get him involved. The Plague Child's going to be involved with their Necrons army, but we're gonna have like this narrative campaign where we're fighting over this world, and we'll have different fights there. And it'll run for a little bit. We'll see how it goes. And then if we have other friends that want to get involved, bring them in and do fights that way. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. And that's a big thing. It looks like from everything we're seeing from 9th that they're really trying to focus on the fun aspects. Like, I put a grot on a tank, and now this gigantic vehicle can't shoot because there's an itty bitty little grot on this thing. No. Boom, boom, boom. I'm a tank. Screw that little aggression. So, yeah, it's it'll be good. It will be good. We'll have a fun time. It'll all be in good fun. That'll be the best part about it. So, so that being said, what do I have on the bench? Well, like I said, I'm working on some desert bases because my Iron Dragons are going to be, their home planet is a harsh desert planet. So, and they're going to have the Iron Dragons are going to have a very Arabesque theme to them. Instead of calling them captains, they refer to their captains as Saeed. And I've got a whole iconography for them, and I've decided on their shoulder insignias, and I've decided on unit sizes and unit layouts and the names and the colors and everything. And so I'm doing Arizona thing. No, not an Arizona thing. What's up, Mini More Mud? What's up, my brother? How you doing? Drop a piece. I'll pick it up later when I can go digging for it. It's going to bug me if I don't find. There it is. There we go. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. And that's the whole goal. I mean, it's all about the fun factor. In the meantime, I'm actually getting ready to prep up one of those models my brother sent me, because I'm in between painting these guys. I got a lot of project stuff out there, but I cleared out so much of my project work with that week of model madness that I've actually cleared up a lot of my backlog. So I kind of want to add a few things back in. I think I'm going to grab that. I think I've got a MiG. I think it's a MiG. I want to say it's a 27. But I want to get that out, and I want to paint that up. And I want to paint that in traditional colors. I love aircraft. I also, like I said, I've still got a bunch of orc projects on the rise. I got a lot of stuff going on. I will let Lady D, when she finally gets here, if she gets here before we end the stream, I will let you show what she's got on the bench. She's got a number of beautiful display type figures that she's working on. They're just gorgeous. Plus she's still working on one of her armies that's really, really cool looking. Yeah, I believe it's a Fulcrum. I'm almost certain it's a fulcrum. Just thinking off the top of my head. I don't want to go get it. It's in the other room, but yeah, I'm almost certain it's a fulcrum. Going down this weekend, finally, to go see my brother Al. Finally going to see my brother. Enough bothersome of this this awful plague. It's finally cleared up enough that we're gonna go see him this weekend. Gonna be fun. There's gonna be a number of family there, so it should be a good time. But yeah, I've currently got 10 intercessors built and primed, along with 3 aggressors, and I'm working on another group of 10 standard intercessors. Actually, I'm going to run them as 2 groups of 5. So getting my troop slots out of the way for my Iron Dragons. And that way, once the edition drops, I can focus on the new characters and the new figures. Even though I'm going to be using bits to do them differently, because I found this wonderful heavy revolver pistol that I actually like more than I like the GW standard heavy pistol. So I'm giving them this gigantic revolver to shoot with. And I really love Heinrich Botha designed a power chainsword that I just absolutely adore. So my guys are going to have that. So yeah, it's all good. Oh, so that's pretty much what I have on the bench. I got a lot of figures and in various states of priming. I have a Space Marine. I mean, I should say a Space Wolf Rhino that I need to get working on. I got it base coated. I need to work on it. Haven't really been in the mood to work on it. Speaking of which, Al, I have a present coming for you as well. Knowing your love of classic cars and classic vehicles, I actually have a 1/25th scale vehicle that I'm bringing down for you. Martyr Zaid, oh my gosh, now that is a name I haven't heard in a long time. Good to see you, buddy. That is a name I have not seen in a very long time. It took me a second. I'm like, why do I know that name? Oh my goodness, how are you, sir? Good to see you. So yeah, you know, 40K I'm all excited about. I did a custom base for a figure. I don't want to distract from how cool the figure painting is going to be, so I did this recently. Just wanted to make like some shale and have some growth on there. What do you guys think of that? It's for a project my wife is working on. I also shot a video this week that we'll be putting up later this week. I want to put it up actually. Hopefully I'll get it edited together, put it up tomorrow or Thursday for a gift that we sent out to some friends. A lot of stuff going on. It's cool. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. So yeah, I mean, things are going well. We got a lot of figures on there. I've got this bad boy that I haven't even touched yet. I want to get to him, but I want to actually get some things cleared out so I can actually spend a real serious amount of time and just focus on making him just absolutely beautiful. Because as all my Primaris wolves are black mains, I want to make sure that he is worthy to go in that warband. So that, you know, when he shows up to hang out with the Ice Spear, he's there to assist their Jarl. Halvar. So, Nate's Minis, good to see you. Cold pizza for the lunch. Ugh. Yeah. No, we just had tacos. Tacos. Lovely Tuesday tacos. So let's talk about GW and talk about some of the news that has gone on over the last few days. As you know, this episode is called "Welcome to the Machine." Machine War will be coming out. It's on pre-order right now. Yeah, no, we're all good. It is all good. Machine War is coming out. Pre-order started this weekend. I believe pre-order started this weekend. I don't know if they're going to be a 2-week pre-order or it's going to be a 1-week pre-order, but it is on its way. They put some new rules out, some new of the night houses for the Chaos Knights. In honor of that, I actually finished, as you guys may have seen, I finished Baby last week to start my Nurgle Knights. I don't know how much effort I'm going to put in the Nurgle Knights. To be honest with you, I think I did Baby as kind of a display piece, unless the new rules will let you run, because, again, we're going back to 9th edition. 9th edition looks like going solid, very nice. I'll tell you. Let me get back to that in just a quick sec there, Nate, because I got some thoughts on that. The Nurgle Knight at printed, if they're gonna, they've been saying that with these new rules, they really want to make it so people run mono armies. Now, I've always been a fan of mono armies, but there are some factions that didn't run as well because of the way that command points worked. And now with the new edition, they're saying they even out the command points. The command points are based on the size of the conflict, not the size, not the faction of the army, and not what kind of units you're running. I don't know how fair that's going to be. I don't know how fair that's going to be, really, because, I mean, one of the big things, perfect examples I can think of is with the Imperial Knights. I mean, their big limiting factor is the fact that they're really big, but they only have a few command points to work with because of the unit that we have to take them. They don't have troop choices. They don't have battalions or brigades. You're really limited. But that what limits them because they are these giant godlike robots. And then you have units like the Imperial Guard, who their main limit was, we can only take, in a 2,000-point game, we can only take 4 detachments. So we're going to take 3 battalion detachments and we're going to take 2 battalion detachments, probably an Outrider or a Vanguard detachment to put some really heavy stuff on the table, and then a super heavy command detachment. That was a very common configuration for them. You'd also see like a brigade and a super heavy or a supreme command detachment. That was another very popular structure. But that's their thing. Their units are flimsy. They get blown to pieces very easily. They don't have a lot of health. They don't have a lot of output. They make up by putting bodies on the table, and they have the command points to support that large of an army. Same for orcs. Orcs are huge command point eaters. I mean, a lot of playing with orcs is utilizing their stratagems to their best effect, which is why you would see a lot of people running a double battalion. Well, if they're going to base it on the size of the game, now they're giving everybody more points. So they're going to give you more points. I'm wondering how that's going to work out for balancing, because there are some armies that, 10 command points in the hands of a knight army are far more powerful than 10 command points in the hands of an orc army. So we'll see how that runs. Well, it'll be. I am interested to see. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out for 9th edition rules. It's exciting to me because, again, I played 1st edition, 2nd edition, 3rd edition started fading, and by the time 4th edition hit the table, I was out. I came back for 8th, and I came back in the. I've been back about a year and a half now. So I came in about halfway point through the expansion. Yeah, I mean, if they give orcs a lot more command points, you're going to see a lot. I mean, that's the whole thing. Orcs live and die by the number of command points they have. I mean, the ability to fight twice, the ability to shoot twice, the ability to be sneaky. But now they're going to have Cult of Speed. It's going to be interesting to see how they do this. I hang out in a couple of different orc channels because I still love my orcs. One of the joys of being me is that I get to be a hobby butterfly. I love my orcs. I love playing my orcs. I love my marines. I love my wolves. I don't play armies I don't enjoy. So that's why you'll never see Genestealer cults in my collection. I don't really want to play Genestealer cults. I'm mixed. I'm still on the fence with Tyranids. Because they look really great. The models look. Why does it feel like I'm watching a repeating loop? Because the hype machine is real, my brother. You know what we got to do? We got to get you a starter box and get you playing this damn game. So it's just interesting how that command point thing is going to work. I have my concerns. We'll see how it balances out. But then again, there was a video they put out the other day with like 8 to 10 of like the best known game testers out there. Like, you know, third party. They didn't let their internal house people test it. They sent it out to Tabletop Tactics, and I think Vanguard Tactics got involved. Well, it's because that's the stuff we're excited about. Thank you, sir. Yeah, OBS is getting better. I did a lot of messing with it. I did that one stream earlier in the weekend. Freak reached out to me, and we're gonna set up some time so we can sit down in a whereby, and I can get a little bit more in touch. I'm not using OBS tonight. I want to just kind of go kind of seamless tonight, but OBS it's up and running now. I've got it working, so we'll be able to get some nice title cards and make these streams look a little bit more professional. So I'm very excited for that. And that should actually, using OBS to manage my video input, should also make doing battle reports a lot easier too. So here's hoping. You're here, Al. You might need to do a refresh. We've just seen the same statement over and over and over. You might need to hear a refresh. Yeah, Paylor, you and I need to talk about that too. Reach out to me on Facebook. I think you can have me on Facebook. Reach out to me or on Insta. We'll talk about it. I would love to, Rob. I'd love to do a show with you. Because you and I, it's really funny. There are a lot of things that you and I are in the same mindset from about the game itself. But it's interesting because you are by far and away such a big paint guy. And I mean, you're just such an amazing painter. And I'm a nuts and bolts tactics kind of, you know, army building, list building. I spend hours building lists. Like I will spend an evening building lists, and reworking points and shoving around 5 points to get a better squeak out of an army and still keep it fun. Like, I'm not just going to go, well, you just take this and this and that. No. I still don't believe in that. I still think there's way too much wiggle room in the game for people to think, well, this is the only way to play the game. No. There's a reason my Imperial Guard, every single squad has a plasma gun. I like plasma. So, 3D printing. You guys might see behind me, my Elegoo is printing right now. I've been printing a bunch of pieces, parts. Like I said, printed some guns, printed some shoulder plates, printed some swords for my my upcoming guys. Even though they're not legal yet for the game, I want to get jumped on that. So I actually have a force to hit the table right off the bat. I probably watch that freaking video showcasing them at least once a day because that is just such the 9th edition hype video is just beautiful. Gosh, the way that assault intercessor just rips through 6 Necrons in one combat round was just beautiful. So that kind of did that for me. But it's also given me a lot of ideas for, and that's the big thing. The printer has given me a lot of ideas for kit bashing. I've got ideas for some Primaris kit bashing. Some really, really great ideas for kit bashing. I saw one beautiful kit bash. Somebody did their version of a Primaris bike, but for the body of it, they used a Helverin. They used a Helverin body as the body of the bike. So I did, Al. I believe I did. Yeah, actually, that's something I want to. I found some print stands for that. I have a single box of Inceptors that I want to print a set of those up to see how they look. Yeah, no, that's a big thing. Ender 5, that's the thing. I've got the Ilugu Mars, which I really love because I do lots of little detail stuff. I actually had somebody reach out to me about like selling me a license for printing and being legal to print and resell their stuff and get me a license pretty cheap. So I, wouldn't be almost no startup costs for me from their end. And I was like really excited about that, but I can't do it on the Mars. The Mars is just too small. And I was thinking about getting an Ender 5. But that's not in the budget as we are still, I've got 2 interviews this week, but we are still collecting the check. Still haven't replaced my workspace yet. And it's kind of hard right now because even though the restrictions are lifting in the state, everybody's just kind of like waiting for this wave 2 to just crash back in and have everything shut back down again. So we're looking at it. Oddly enough, I actually been looking at a couple alternate places to start working again. There's a place right by my house that they can get you your CDL. And I have a good friend of mine that drives professionally. And if I get a CDL, he's like, I can get you a spot in my company right off the bat. So I'd have a job like that as soon as I get a CDL. And it's the full thing. It's not just a CDL. It's the CDL and how to drive a semi. And I'm not afraid of big trucks. So the thought of getting a semi license to drive local freight, it's early morning and it's a bit of hours, but it's good money. So it's definitely a thought there. And the post office is actually hiring in my area. So again, another thought because they got great benefits. So I'm just looking at alternate means. I'm kind of really sick of the volatile nature of IT. So we're looking at, what can I do that I'm not worried about my job every 6 months or every 2 years? Yeah, that's a big thing. Our local games are open. They're not still having events yet. I need to roll some dice. I need to play. I've been playing a little bit with Tabletop Simulator. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm not one of those guys that I have to be, I have to be this kind of a job. I'm I've been in IT for the last 25 years, and I'm just kind of sick of the grind. So I'm looking at some alternatives where I can make good money. I don't mind doing manual labor. I don't mind doing what they call unskilled labor. Whatever, man. I mean, that doesn't mean anything to me. If I have a job that I can go to work, do my job, and come home and take care of my family, that's what I care about. So there's that. Let's get back to a happier topic. So, yeah. I'm really interested in some kit bashing. I did some kit bashing on my Nurgle night. For those of you who didn't see it, let me quick go grab it. Give me a second here, y'all. It looks like Lady Dragon is here. Dinner's on the table. So, this is baby.
No God.
Yeah. So this is baby, and this is my night desecrator. Oh my God! Why are you doing this now?
I feel work.
What the hell?
His computer. Here, you keep talking and I'll get rid of it all. Move your hand. I'll take care of it. If it pops up,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is baby. I just recently finished him using some chain and some 3D printed parts. Did I just drop the on the floor?
I don't think so. Move your.
No, they're all there.
Okay.
So using some chain, some 3D printed parts, and we have baby. My full bone. It's right now empty. It's just Dr. Pepper. It's just Dr. Pepper. Oh. So I'm actually really proud of how that came out. And that's the thing. Like I said, depending on how the rules for 8th edition work out,
Teacher. I actually thought about being a teacher actually at one point. So, well, I wanted to be an art teacher, honestly, for I think it was like third or fourth grade, because that's when you can do all the really fun stuff and everything's still really cool to the kids.
So as long as you're here, why don't you show them what's on the bench?
Well, first thing I have on the bench is, well, this was my attempt at doing a bronze effect. Here, you want to hold her up?
She's not done with her yet.
That's an off thing. Can you get her to back? Deliberately trying to use contrasting colors with her as well as complementary colors. My first attempt at NMM, gold blade on the sword, and green oxidized bronze for the chest plate and the. I'm glad you think so, Rob. She's being based on a Red Sonja by Frank.
And yeah, and that was, and yeah, this was that base that I was showing off earlier. This is the base that she's going to be jumping off of.
So I'm really happy with how she's turning out. It's a slow going process. She is for a very dear friend of mine, also, who happens to be in the channel right now. Apparently has been teaching Spanish for the last 18 years. So I was pretty happy. Heinrich thought that was actually the one who gave me a tutorial on the bronzing effect for the shield, and he was like, you should do some bronze on her shield and whatnot because of how bright and vibrant the hair is. You needed that green to just, pop. And he told me that the way she was done, this is a woman that epics are written about. So I take that as a huge compliment. I am also working slowly on another one where I'm trying to do my own. The writer isn't actually attached to it, but here's his writer, where I'm working very slowly with him. He was actually done completely in inks and a little bit of Militarm green contrast for the armor that he's wearing, because I'm trying to get, I realized later I used the wrong color. I should have been using a washed down turquoise, because I found that I was told that when you're doing non metal metallics, if it's silver, you want to use a blue base. If it's gold, you use a green base, and then bring your way up.
Okay, I want to talk about this one briefly because this is ridiculous.
Still not done with them.
But she has been working on these wings, and
no, those are done. The wings are done.
These wings are, the camera does not show you the gradient very well. These wings are ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, there it goes. You can kind of see the gradient.
And I mean, this whole figure, the base is really coming together, the figure's coming together, but those wings are just absolutely, the gradient she's got on them, it's just beautiful.
That was, yes. Thank you. I have been slowly working on him. I had seen this really cool picture because I have a book that's full of fantasy art by famous people. And one of the images they had from a D&D was this spirit of a warrior queen. And she was these sky blues with like grays and white. And I kind of wanted, to try and go for that effect with the wings, the fire, and the tail and the mane, because I wanted this to be more like a Frisian. You know, because Frisians are just these giant, majestic horses.
How did that go?
That's what I was. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kinder. The Kinder will be getting her own little comic as soon as I can get it blocked of her getting her keys, because congratulations to the Kinder. She is now a manager at work. Yay! So there is that one. I just, you guys have seen me working this lady out. I think her head is finally finished. I can't really think.
Leave her on the body after movie.
Yeah. I can't think too much more I want to do with her head. Or the hair. I mean, the face I can't get. Good night, Meeks. I can't get. I mean, I love the way her face looks. I love the eyes that I got on her. I'm finding that I really enjoy doing eyes on these larger models. And her hair, again, the camera doesn't do very well with the gradients.
Shut up. Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rob. She's based on an incarnation of a character of mine who has this annoying habit of dying and being reborn. So I went for a Viking-esque feel for her. Yes, they gave Kinders. A Kinder, yep.
Yeah.
She pays for it all, but yeah, there's not going to be much left. That somebody gave Kinder keys to a store. They're worried about how much is going to be left for everybody else.
Can I bug you before you leave? There's an open 2-liter.
And then the only other two things is I'm actually going to be starting on these two lovely ladies. This one is going to be a gothed out druid. I am so excited to work on her.
She really loves me getting these figures and putting them at 200% for her. They're supposed to be for D&D. She's like, no, I want display pieces.
These are my display pieces, but this one, oh, this one. This beautiful beast is the pinup of their wood elf from the Artisans Guild. So she's an imp, as you can see. And I am going to have so much fun painting her skin like mahogany. It's going to be So much fun. Yes, very sexy. I love the pinups that they have for Artisans Guild. I've got one eventually that Dee's supposed to be printing for me from this month's stuff, where it's a barmaid dancing.
I don't know. This month is the Oni.
This month, no. We already had the Oni. This month is the
Wasteland.
yes, and remember, their pinup looks like she kind of has that appearance of a barmaid. They're this wasteland group where they use these bugs for their buildings and their armor. It's really cool looking, but they've got this. She looks like a barmaid. That's the best way to describe her. And she's dancing. And she's just got this huge smile on her face, and she looks like she's having so much fun. It's such a dynamic figure, and I want to paint this woman. I also want to paint the Oni and the orc, or not the orc. I already painted the orc one. She's already on her way to her new owner. No, the Oni and the dwarf. Actually, I want the.
You actually want to get the dwarf set?
Oh my god! But we've got a couple of other sets.
And then she's got this demon that I'm printing for her. It's going to be huge.
Oh, is it the bus?
Yeah, I'm printing a demon bus for you, probably overnight tonight.
I mean, we've got a bunch of these things. Oh, that sucks, Dave. So that's pretty much it that's going on the bench over here. Kind of butterflying around. I jump from thing to thing between colors and exactly.
And she's really embraced that. It's hilarious because before she was,
side of the bench.
Yeah, she used to be like, I have to paint this one thing, and then I'll do one more thing, and she'd finish one and go to the next one. And now she's got like this spread of like 40 things on her bench and under her bench that she's worked. Show them the other present I just got you.
I love this one.
You have to take it out to see it, but
it's very hard to see. But this, my darklings, this
is the Briar Queen and her warband.
This is the Thorns of the Briar Queen.
So, because of her love of...
Oh no, the kit bashing is coming, Hellchild, when I begin to do my Daughters of the Forge.
Like I said, we were talking about her.
You and I will be having a nice little discussion because he and I were having a fun chat about lore while I was sitting in Menards. And
yeah. Where's your phone?
Charging. It's over here. The closer the better. Where's the thing? Oh, here it is. Yeah, my phone. No, I haven't eaten yet.
And that's the whole thing. It's for Underworlds because I like it's nice to get those little war bands put together, but she's not using them for Underworlds.
She's actually considered a leader type for Age of Sigmar.
So she's getting them so she can have the unit of them and the Thorns and put them in her.
She's the only other female other than the Mortarch of Blood that Nagash's forces have, actually, which eventually going to pick up a second Mortarch, which is really funny because the Mortarchs, it's one model for the other 4 because there's 5 Mortarchs altogether. 6, sorry. And because that's right, the
new guys have a Mortarch as well.
Yeah, their leader is
the Mortarch of Bone.
Yeah. So there's 6 Mortarchs altogether that serve Nagash, and currently only 2 of them have their own unique models. The other 4, it's a single model, but you interchange parts out. And one of those is a female, and I believe it's the Mortarch of Blood.
Blood is a female Mortarch.
Yeah, and I would love to do that because I think, you know me, I like my diversity and I love my ladies, because if I had a body like that, I'd be dressed as sexy as they are too. I mean, I'll eventually pick up all of the Mortarchs just so I can have the 6, but that's once I win the lotto farther down the road.
5. I don't know if you're actually going to get the 6th one, because the 6th one is the Bone guys, and we didn't really like them.
Yeah, I did. I just don't want to play them. I like the way they look.
No, I didn't think you liked the way they look.
No, I like the way they look. So the whole idea is that, because I'm also a huge, I like painting. That's one of the things that I like about these guys is I like doing display pieces. Yeah. But the nice thing about my display pieces is that I can make these and I can give these to my friends as my way of saying thank you. I still intend to give Zane one that's like exceptionally heretical.
Like the Demon Boss.
So,
Tomatoes and cheese.
tomatoes, cheese, yes, please.
Yeah, you got tomatoes and onions. I chopped up all the things. I went to the store and I did grocery shopping.
Did you want me to get cereal?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And 2 gallons of milk.
So yeah, that's all I've got really going on my side of the bench. I've got a bunch of the Night Haunt built and primed, ready to go. And I'm debating on whether or not I want to use ink on them and forego doing their under shading coats like I've been doing and just see what happens.
Hey, one other guy I'm working on. Wait, forgot about.
Oh yeah.
When I got her box, they included for free this sculpt. I actually had to throw the wings on because I would never run a Demon Prince without wings. But I wanted this sculpt for a very long time. I just never got around to getting it. The Demon Prince of Nurgle is a gorgeously ugly, disgusting figure. It's so gross. I mean, look at his belly. Look at him. Look at him. He's awesome.
I'm trying to eat here.
It's just a great figure. But I never gotten around to buying him. They had him in the box. They're like, here you go. Because of the... Oh, hail the prince. Look at him. Look at him. He is so cute. He's got a big fat belly and a little bitty head. And I had some extra buggy wings. And I found some perfect spots to stick them in.
He kind of reminds me of a bumblebee. There's no way in hell those things are going to support him. And yet, they probably will.
And he's got a gigantic Hellforge sword that I'm going to just... Normally, I run my Demon Princes with twin claws, but for him, I'm going to make an exception and run him true to the model, running him with a Hellforge sword. So he can just wreck stuff. I'm a fan. Death to all the things.
What about your wolves?
They'll kill wolves. That'll work on wolves too. That's what I love about it. Like we started saying earlier, it's the joy of this thing.
We have not. I personally haven't had any time off. I'm actually got more off, so I'll probably be watching it after I come back from dropping off presents to my little niece. Because I saw her mama today, and her mama said we could come by. Ooh, I can't wait to see your wolves.
Yeah, I got, like I said, we got tons of stuff going on. I got to get this guy done. I got to get him done for my 13th company wolves, my non-Ragnar wolves. Because, of course, I'm stupid enough to have both 2 brigades of wolves. And, you know, that's going to change so much when the new rules come out. Because
Ice Coat, please. Oh, many more might have said. Big D, brief history of H. Ice Coat, please.
history of H.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you've lost me, Lormont. Anyway, talking about main character from
His name is Ice Pelt.
That's the Haldor Ice Pelt. That's the guy that's the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Hilda.
promise I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the Primaris.
later tonight.
Isn't that the Primaris Lieutenant?
Yep. It just said he's the Space Wolf's lieutenant.
Yeah, that's the Primaris Lieutenant that's in the Primaris box. I don't know anything about him because here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Harold Icepen. Here's the thing. This is the funny thing, and I get yelled at for this by certain people.
Is this?
I've read 2 of the books of the novels. That's it.
There's not much there.
Yeah, I've read 2 books. I mean, there's a couple of really good Wolf books. I haven't read any of them. The 2 books I've read were both Imperial Guard books, honestly, back in the day. I have not read almost everything. Most of the stuff I've read, it's been through reading lore compilation posts and codexes. Now, I've read the crap out of some codexes, so I understand the overall history of chapters. But as far as specific characters and specific people,
not enough, because you didn't know that the salamanders are like the ice wolves and apparently are very not codex compliant.
they're codex compliant.
They're about as codex compliant as the wolves are in the that's the best you're going to get from us. Bro.
No, they're codex compliant. The problem is they only have 7 companies because their planet is so harsh. They don't have the bodies. It says it right in the freaking. Says it right in the codex.
There's a problem.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guys that
Back off.
there's a lot of guys who you don't get a lot on. Actually, I take that back. I have read 1 book. I read the original Russ book way back in the day, like when it first came out. I read one of the very first Russ book when it came out. I want to say in the late 90s. But that's it. I fell in love with the game's lore through the codexes and how they fragment it throughout the codexes. And that's been my main source of lore. I can't keep up with, what is it now, 150 books just for the Horus Heresy. Now they're finally...
I don't think they're done sieging Terra.
Yeah, I think they just started sieging Terra. Yeah, and that's the thing. The wolves are codex compliant. Ish. No.
They waived the codex added.
They went, look, no, these are not. These are the Iron Wolves, and these are the Black Mains, and these are the Sea Wolves, and these are the Blood Maws. See, that's a totally different. It's a totally different thing.
The Space Wolves, please stand up.
And everybody gets up. Oh shit! Damn it! Trick question.
And Reboot just turns and looks at his brother Russ, and Russ just goes, "It's the best you're gonna get out of me."
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the game, the lore changes depending on
the propaganda.
Yeah,
the lore changes based on who was the writer of said propaganda.
Yeah. What I would suggest, honestly, if you want specific lore on specific people or specific information, there's a website called the Lex Canon. It's the 40. No, Lex Canon. It's I can even look it up. I'll put a link to it in below because it's where I look stuff up and it's great. Lexicanon. Here you go. I'm going to put a link to it right here. If you want lore in the game, go to that link.
Type in the person.
Type in the person's name, and if there's anything on them, it'll be there. But that is...
That's actually where I found a good chunk of my information for my Yanari. So, pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, just the Horus Heresy. There's so many freaking books on the Horus Heresy, and it's like...
Well, it's because what happens when you have 18 brothers?
But the thing is, what they're doing is they're setting up this series. It's trying to set the stage for the entirety of the game, And this is shit that should have been put out years ago. And the problem is that they don't have one writer working on the books, so they're all these different writers.
Which is one of the reasons why they changed things up with
Yeah.
9th edition, where now the book staff is all working together.
But they're
make
only
sure.
working on this current series, you know.
Yes.
And that's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't get me wrong. I love reading. I read a lot.
Yes, he does.
I read a ton. The other problem I have with a lot of the Warhammer 40K books, especially the Siege of Terra books, they're very dry. Oh my god.
They're British. What the fuck do you expect?
I'm just saying, they're so dry. There's so many of them I can't get through. And I've tried to read a few of them. And the problem is I can't listen while I paint. Because I get sucked in trying to listen and visualize that I stop painting. So I sucked for that. For me, audiobook is something to listen to while I'm traveling. So like if I'm driving, they're great. If I'm on a bus, because I don't have a problem taking public transport. I would often take a bus back and forth to work because I work downtown and it's one bus for me. You know, I throw an audiobook on my phone and I listen to it back and forth from work. That's great. But if I'm going to put on an audiobook, I'm going to listen to the audiobook. So yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like there's so many books in the Horus Heresy series, and the problem is that I'm gonna be honest with you. There's at least 2 or 3 of them that I tried to read that I couldn't get through the first 2 chapters before I put them down because they were so bad. There was one of them that I was trying to read because when Kender first started playing 40K,
Ari Salvador is really not on my list of favorite people right now because of a series that I read, and I still haven't forgiven for this. It's been 20 fucking years, and I still haven't forgiven him for this.
he killed Chewbacca.
No, not that.
He killed Chewbacca.
That wasn't actually it. It was a book series that I was reading and killed the main character and mentally destroyed the secondary character, and it was just
He killed Chewbacca.
yes,
I will never forgive the man. He killed Chewbacca.
yeah, he dropped a freaking planet on the man.
Yeah, the man killed Chewie. Now I have a bunch of the RA books. Unfortunately,
And I've read the ending, the last 4 books for the Shannara series. Man, those were good.
but what do you call it? The Kender, when they first started trying to play 40K, was playing the Dark Angels. So like I think it's like book 6 or book 8, really early in the series, there's a Dark Angels book. So I picked up that book to try and read it, to learn about, you know, their origins, to try and give her some abridged ideas on what they're all about. That book is awful. That book is, the person who wrote that might as well have just taken like a dictionary, thrown it in the blender, and then whatever came out, spit it out on pages. Because it was, yeah, Angels of Caliban, I think it's a really early book in the series. It's like, I want to say it's like the 3rd or the 6th. It's really early in the series. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I could not stand that book. I couldn't follow the plot. I couldn't follow the story, and I couldn't follow the POV character. It was terrible. And I have high expectations for books. I mean, even when they're gamer books,
He has very high expectations.
I have high expectations for books. I expect to be entertained. Like Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman, the entirety of the Dragonlance saga.
Oh my god, I love them so much.
The Dritz to Origin series by Ari Salvatore are really great. Gamer books, I understand gamer books are going to be different. But here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you, Warm Mutt. I want to be clear. The book was terrible. The faction, the Dark Angels, they're a great faction. They have some really, because they're one of the older ones that got a lot of attention early on in the game. they have a lot of really great lore. They have a really great backstory. It's really good stuff. I enjoy them.
Despite the fact that they retconned their Deep Dark Secret.
Yeah, it's just that their novel in the Horus Heresy, their first experience in the Horus Heresy book, is just so terrible. I couldn't even read the book. It was just bad.
I'm currently in possession of a book. I have the first of the Typhus King, courtesies of the Commodore.
She's also trying to read because she has both the first 2 books of the Inari series, and she hasn't finished them either.
Yeah, it's because I'm here doing this shit.
So, and now that they've got all this lovely video stuff coming out, and they've got TV series coming out, there's going to be so much to consume. I'm actually really looking forward to the new series of books that they're going to have with 9th edition. I think I'm going to jump back into their novels there, and I'm just going to start from ground zero there.
And then, as needed, go back for referencing. That's what I tend to do.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I read a lot. I mean, we had to pack up. This used to be our library. We had to pack up 4 bookshelves worth of softcover books. And those were because they're soft covers. Because they're soft covers, that means they were stacked too high and too deep. And we had to pack up 4 bookshelves, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves of softcover books. Because I read very voraciously. My children have always been given books to read voraciously.
I love to read.
The amount of series that I've gone through. I mean, I've actually read the Foundation trilogy multiple times. I know a lot of people that can't get through that series. I've read Foundation, 13 books? I've read it multiple times. Or it might be 10 books. I don't remember how many it is, but I've read the whole thing multiple times. I found it hilarious. Rob, go teach people to paint, you amazing man. You be well. And I love your
I like this red. Oh, it was sitting on top of this.
Yeah.
And the humidity.
Do they have hardcover books for the Horus series?
Probably.
Yeah, they probably do. Probably not anymore, or not for all of them. They usually release them as a hardcover and then release them as a softcover a little bit later. I've seen some hardcovers for them. Again, in typical GW fashion, even their books are overpriced. It's just like, why is this novel so expensive? I mean, seriously. The Harry Potter books are half the price, and those are important.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But that's Harry Potter.
Just saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, their books are overpriced. All right. All right, so we started talking about this and then got taken off by this. Machine War is on pre-order right now. Machine War, that's the new series in the Psychic Awakening. That's going to have the Mechanicum, and have you seen the new Mechanicum models? God, they're gorgeous. I wish I played Mechanicum. Another one of those armies that I think are really cool, but I think I can resist for a while. I don't see. I love the look of them, but I don't see me investing in them anytime soon. I've got too many armies ahead of them that I like so much more. But I'm glad the Mechanicum. I'm hoping this is the last hurrah for new stuff from Mechanicum because they've gotten so many new models over the last 3 years. I think they need to give another faction some more love. Now, I know somebody other than Marines. I know Marines are getting love, and Necrons are getting a full refresh and a whole bunch of new love. So that's good to see.
My elves already got their love.
Elves got love. Drukhari got a bunch of love. I'll be honest, I'd like to see one of the other Xenos. But who else is there? The Tau. The Tau don't really need any love. I mean, the Kroot might get some more love.
The Tau already got their love.
Yeah, Tau got a lot of love, but they got a lot of Kroot that could use some love. I'm just trying to think. Who else could really use some love?
I was going to say, we're talking Xeno only. Yeah.
Dark. I mean, the regular Eldar need the love. Honestly, they've got so many units that are fine cast or metal only still.
Yeah.
They really need to get a lot of their stuff
Like,
transported.
it'd be really nice to actually get a Prince Yarrow updated figure to reflect
And
the war.
they've been going back and forth. Imperial Guard. We were talking about this earlier in the chat. Imperial Guard needs the love.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, they've got some great tanks, but their dudes are just terrible. And they've been showing these new single figure sculpts that look so great. It's really not that difficult. They're not like they're really complex figures. They're just army dudes. So how about we get some new Imperial Guard troop choices? How about we get the Cadians are pretty good, although the Cadians getting a refresh in their Bane box would be nice. But the Kachikans need their troops to be replaced because their dudes look terrible. The Stroyans would be really great. Talarn Raiders.
Man, that would be so cool to see an upgraded Sly Marbo.
The Talarn Raiders would be really great to see. They said on the website that the one thing they did say is that the Death Corps of Krieg are going to be main booked. That was a quote I read. They're going to be main booked.
And I believe they're getting a new line of figures. Yeah. It was hinted at.
So that tells me that the Imperial Guard is probably one of the first armies that are going to be getting a new codex.
I need my money.
Yeah. But if they're going to make the Kriegers main book, so they're going to be falling in line with all the other Imperial Guard, that to me says that they're not going to be. I mean, it wouldn't make sense if they keep them specifically on Forge World. So, does that mean we're getting plastic Kriegers? If we're getting plastic Kriegers, I know a lot of people that are happy about that, but they're going to lose their flavor because they're not going to have they may not have their unique setups as opposed to the regular Imperial Guard. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Nice stretch.
Thanks.
Didn't even say anything. He just gave him a thumbs up. That was funny as heck.
Happy gas back noises.
My mommy. Mommy.
So, I mean, Imperial Guard needs love badly, 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 badly. I mean, Talarns, honestly, I'm playing Cadians because I like their rules, but I like the Talarn look so much better. I actually, honestly, if I'd had the money at the time, I would have gone when they did it. A couple of weeks, about a month or so ago, they had a re-release, a print a print as purchased, print on demand.
Sorry.
They had a print on demand of the Talarns, and I honestly really thought about getting them. I have a real thing. I love the arabesque look. There's a reason why my Iron Dragons are going to have an arabesque feel to them.
He's always been very drawn to that.
I love the Mediterranean coast. I love the looks of the Mediterranean coast and the architecture, and just the beauty of that part of the world. So I want that in Persia. I really like the way those two areas and the history and all the riches behind them. So I kind of want to do that with my guys. So that's why, again, my captains are going to be called Saeed, and we'll work from there. But it is 9 o'clock. So that being said, we are coming to the end of our day. So any final thoughts? My moment. Big thing to think about, guys. 9th edition coming out. Crusade's coming.
Yes.
Time to think about new edition, new army. This is a really great time to pick up a starter box of a new army and start
creating your own meta,
your own story. Now, if you're so in love with your guys that you want to just keep going with what you got, there's nothing wrong with that too.
No.
I'm just saying, a new edition is always a good time to try something new. So, 8th edition got me to try a Death Guard, and gosh, I fell in love with them. I absolutely fell in love with the Death Guard. I think there's so much lovely lore and flavor to them. They're savory. Moist. Warmut, I'll tell you what. For you, you should play Tau. You could do Tau in desert camo, and it would look awesome.
Oh my god, that would be.
You could do like current, 2000s United States Army desert camo on their armor, on their suits, on their tanks and stuff, and it would look good. It would fit in with their look.
Oh my gosh, that would be so friggin' cool looking.
Mr. Botha, you're coming in just as time as we're giving you your last thoughts. Like I would tell Heinrich that this is a new time to start a new army, but he's like, the Necrons rise! The Necrons!
Actually, that's not exactly what he said, but we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, it's pretty close to what he said.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What was it? Get off my lawn?
Bow down, bitches.
Whatever. There are only Necrons. All right, my friends.
There's that too.
So, real quick before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to all my Patreon members at the Battle Brother level. We have the ever silent and not here, so he didn't get banned tonight, so it felt kind of weird. Inquisitor's name. And my buddy in Arizona, in the desert, living off the heat, Mini Warmut. We have our Battle Leader level Patreons. We have the Bookman, the Librarian, Joe Bookish, and the man, the myth, the legendary dude of dudes that made the swords that my Marines carry, Heinrich Botha. And lastly, we have our Warlord level Patreons. We have the man that taught me everything I don't know, the legend himself, Mr. Plastic, Master Modeler Alex Drake.
Plastic. You're forgetting a couple of other mediums that he uses.
Yeah, whatever. It's good enough. I don't want to blow him up too big, get his head all huge.
I'm not a part of this conversation.
We have the ever so great, the eternal Smash Captain, James Beeks. And coming in last place, but first in our hearts, coming in from high orbit, raining down with his band hammer from the phalanx, the lovely, the wonderful, the ever so shiny domed Commodore. We love you guys so much. If you guys found this entertaining, hit that like button. There's only 4 of you so far. Apparently, we weren't entertaining enough. I'm sorry. I wish I entertained you more.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, that's why they didn't give me like buttons, because you weren't here all day. They don't like me at all. So I get no like buttons. But please, hit that like button. That lets YouTube know that I'm actually doing something entertaining, and they enjoy that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell so that you know when we're going to do any one of these really crazy new events. And keep in mind that Lady Dragon 28 on Instagram. I'm the Game Graph Dragon on Instagram. We also have the Plague Child on Instagram, who shows up every once in a while and pretends to paint miniatures. We have Patreon. We have merch.
Within our Patreon, we have 3 different levels, as you heard. We have level 1, which is only $1 a month, which is, you have no idea the amount of stuff we can buy with that.
I want to thank all of you, because I want to show you real quick what your hobby bucks got us this month. This is a big beginning to our hobby. We are trying out a new line of paints from P3. Beautiful,
Highly
creamy,
recommended.
highly recommended from a couple painters for us. Nice and creamy, beautiful, beautiful paints. Giving them a try because of your hobby dollars you've given us. So we thank you so much for all that.
Level 2 is $3 a month, which gives you unlimited access to our Patreon. Level 1 will allow you to come into
To our
Discord and get to listen to the insanity that happens there.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on in our Discord. Come on by, talk about it.
Even if you are not a patron,
We have a general channel just to come on in and let's talk about it.
lots of fun, lots of fun. At level 3, $10 a month, you are entered into a quarterly drawing for a present, typically something made by the one of us. Every quarter, as I said, also gives you complete access to the full entirety of the Discord. And there was something else.
It just means you're awesome.
Well, yeah, and all
The
honesty,
quarterly drawing is a big thing. The quarterly drawing will be going out in 2 weeks.
yeah, I was going to say it's coming up real soon.
Yeah, it's coming up real soon. This what do you call it? This quarter, it's not going to be something made by me. It's kind of special though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we're going to be making something special for who we send it out to. So that being said, love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Remember the 3 rules of gaming.
Kiss.
Epic your board.
Epic your life.
And epic your game, my friends.
Take care.
Thank you so much. We
Be
love you so
safe.
much. We will have a tutorial later this week. We'll also have a video showcase on some miniatures that are painted later this week. This is going to be a good week for vids.
There may or may not be
There will probably not be an effort this weekend. We got too many things going on.
no, but you may end up getting another video sooner rather than later because I have challenged my husband to a 500-point game just to give it a go. You know, finally actually play a game.
So,
And yeah, that's supposed to happen tomorrow evening. Maybe we'll live stream it. Maybe we won't. We'll
All right.
see what happens. Love you guys. Take care. Be safe.
be well. And wash your damn hands.
Bye, everyone. Mwah.